So we've been talking about John's motivation, John's behavior in his business dealings. And last video, we kind of talked about the firestorm that is existing around John. And we're wondering now how John is handling the stress, even though he tells us one thing in interviews. We're wondering how John handles the stress of the environment that he's existing in. We know from this research that Access Graphics, the employees don't know what to think because John is now on leave. We know that Lockheed Martin is not happy. They're trying to sell this company very quickly. They're trying to get rid of it. They purchased it in 91. They acquired it in 91, May of 91. I think that what we'll see here in just a second, they purchased it in 91, acquired it. And now it's 96, the latter part of 96, and they're trying to get rid of that thing. And then John is receiving threats because there's a public outcry, and the police are, still holding out the idea that the Ramseys should be cleared. And so it says that where we left off, it says that one story has it that Intercom, a $3.1 billion distributor of computer products, which is what Access Graphics does, based in Omaha, has been exploring a possible acquisition of Access Graphics. In response, Intercom, which is on an active acquisition kick, said it would not roll out such a purchase because if I can buy it at a fire sale price, it might be a good deal. Meanwhile, and then I can revamp it, and basically I can take over the offices, and I might just revamp Access Graphics. I might just take that name off and just put Intercom so that I have access to the distribution domestically and internationally, so that I'm just trying to buy, I'm just trying to have access to distribution, and then I automatically have access in this way to the Sun microsystems. And so that's just a way for me to expand. Of course, I can do that. And if I can do the deal cheaply, then it might be worth it. Meanwhile, there's talk in computer circles that some customers of Access Graphics are getting queasy about doing business with the company. However, Access maintains it has not lost any significant customers since the unaliving. And as for the possible sale of the company, an Access Graphics spokeswoman pretty much signaled that it was likely when she said, "We're not a core business of Lockheed. Lockheed itself declined." So I gotta stop you there, spokeswoman. I want you to think about this with me. Lockheed Martin bought a $1 billion company. They bought a $1 billion company, and they've invested 5 years into this company. Lockheed has bought Access Graphics, I think when they had done 500 million, and they raised them to $1 billion, and they did $1 billion in sales. I think early part of 96, 95, 96. You have a CEO who is CEO of the year, entrepreneur of the year. This guy is up. If they were a public company in and of themselves, those signals, and I believe if John were to get on an earnings call and speak about the state of the company, and then in that earnings call, get off the phone, hang it up, and if that call went on during trading hours, I believe you would have seen a pop in the market, an upward shift in the stock price. But even if after hours, which some companies do, they report their earnings after hours. If John were to say, "Hey, I'm reporting earnings. We're doing well. Business is going well as usual. We're creating relationships, this, that, and the third." If that were to be the case, then I believe the next trading day, you would see a pop. You would see some activity in after hours trading, and you'd see some orders go in for the spike to hit when the market opens. Or, you would see some pre-market movements and stuff like that, and then you'll see the pop. But we're talking about investing 5 years into a company, and then all of a sudden, I have driven. If I'm Lockheed Martin, I bought you at 500 million, maybe something like that. When you had 120 employees, I increased your value to 300 something odd employees and $1 billion. It's like buying a home for 150, buying a home for 150K, raising the value of the home to 400, right? Only to be like, you know what? I want to sell this house for 150. If you were investing in a home, if you're a home buyer and you're walking around with your real estate agent, and there is a home that is if you comp the neighborhood, and every home in that neighborhood is worth 400 grand, and you roll by a certain home that you like, and that house is beautiful, and you look at the price on the home and they say 150, red flag. I don't care who you are. Red flags are going up, because you're saying every house on this block is 400K. Why is that house 150? But then when you get in the house, you start to see, foundation. The roof. The attic is, this room is unfinished. Oh man, I'm gonna have to, this is not modernized at all. All this needs to be updated. Appliances don't work, this, that, and the third. I got to do all this. So essentially, what's happening in the home is that the sellers are selling the home as is in order to compensate for the fact that this home has a lot of issues. It has a lot of problems, right? And so that's what's going on here with Lockheed Martin and Access Graphics. I raised this home that should be valued, or I raised this company that should be valued at $1 billion. I should be able to sell it. I should not only, because the sale of the business itself tangibly is $1 billion. I can say is $1 billion, and I can justify that if I look at the financial statements. If I go through the balance sheet, I can justify $1 billion, especially in the 90s. We're talking about in the 90s, $1 billion in the 90s. This company was rocking and rolling, and somebody said in another forum, yo, that's Microsoft numbers. That's who we talking about. We talking about Microsoft numbers. $1 billion? For me to do $1 billion, and I might have to look up the CPI index on that one to understand what that might mean today. $1 billion in 96. What is $1 billion in 2024 dollars? You see what I'm saying? So, man, I got to look that up. I have to. So if I take a look and I say in 96, 2024 to 2024, that's 28-year period. If I look at $1 billion company today, in today's values, right, going from 96 to 2024, and I type in $1 billion, in today's values, the growth over 28 years, 101%. Right? About $2 billion. So in today's dollars, John's company is sitting on a $2 billion valuation. What does that mean? What companies are there that we know that are worth $2 billion today? I got to see that. So just to prove my point, we can look at companies. I got 4 companies. Microsoft was on another level. Microsoft was on another level. So not Microsoft, but if you think about Yahoo in 97, this is Yahoo's market cap, end of year market cap, at the time. And I think Yahoo's private right now, but, so that's why they don't have a share price, but they're private right now. But in 97, their market cap was like 2.98 billion. But I think in 95, 96, something like that, there were reports that their market cap was like 2.5, right? We go to Apple, 95. And Yahoo was like the business, the search engine before Google. So they were legit. If we look at Apple, wait, we go over here. I'm sorry. I don't need to be. This is the market cap section. So all in 96, if we look at December of 96, so every time, so there's growth in the market, or there's movement in the market cap. I'll say that there's movement in the market cap, 2.6, 2.5, and there's a declining of it down to 2.1, right? So John Ramsey and Access Graphics at the time were 2 point, I should probably make this bigger so we can see. So anyways, John Ramsey at the time, you can see the market cap, 2.1 billion. For Apple, 95 and 96, well really 96, 2.1 billion market cap. Nvidia in 99 or in 2000, 2.2 billion market cap. And then lastly, Adobe, 96, 97, 98, we see growth in their market cap, but 2.6 billion, 2.83, 2.86, right? So these are the companies that John Ramsey, I say this to make a point that John Ramsey was on his way. Like John Ramsey was going big. John Ramsey was pushing to be one of the biggest, right? So when I say I sold $1 billion, right? I'm on my way, because now it'd be 2 billion. Well, should have been 2 billion. But at the time, those guys had a market cap of 2 billion at that time. So John is trying to get there, but what he's saying was hopefully in the next decade will be 2 billion. And essentially we're trying to ramp up. All he's going to do is, where is that? Anyways, we'll kind of touch on that later, but I think they called him like a channel integrator. And what that means is that essentially John was acting as the middleman.